Check, check. Hello. Hi, welcome to Arcade Comedy Theater, which you've already heard once, so now you're welcome again. We are going to be doing here tonight, in case you're unaware, there's going to be a mock presidential debate going on a little bit later. That's one of the things that that's going to be the main meat of our show here. We're going to start off in just a moment with a fantastic stand-up comedian to open the show, though. But before we do that, before we get to that, a couple reminders. First of all, as you heard, the restrooms are right there to your left, my right, so if you need them at any time, please feel free to get up and use them. We will not be having an intermission at any point. If you need concessions of any type, you can head out this way, right back out in the lobby, talk to the people at the front desk there. They will be happy to sell you any kinds of different, waters and pops and candy, if you like that type of thing. And if you don't, sorry. So, what we're going to do is, before we get started with the evening, I'm going to get a couple of suggestions from you that are going to help our candidates affect their characters when they come up here. So, we're going to start off, and if I can just let's get a picture up here. We do have our first candidate here tonight is a senator, and for the senator, I am going to need from how about from this side over here, a suggestion, please, of a object that you might find in your attic. Anything at all?
Trunk.
A trunk, like a Foot Locker trunk type of thing. All right, very good. Trunk, yeah. Give it up for the trunk. Thank you. Very good. Our very first suggestion tonight. Excellent. For our second candidate. This is the mayor here, of course, and from over here on the left side, for the mayor, can I please get a suggestion of a natural disaster of some type, like a flood or a hurricane? Very good, hurricane, excellent, hurricane. For our next candidate, this is, of course, the governor. From over here on this side, a suggestion, please, of a college course. Any college course? Psychology. Psychology. Thank you. Psychology. And finally, our final candidate here tonight, the entrepreneur. From over here on this side, how about a hobby that there's actually a Reddit page for? A hobby. Spelunking. Spelunking. Very good. So just to review those, we have a trunk, we have hurricane, we have psychology, and we have spelunking. So those are the suggestions that the candidates will be using when they come back out here. And I'll be back out in just a little bit, but first we have, like I told you, a fantastic stand-up comedian coming out now. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a warm round of applause for James J. Hamilton.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening. How's it going? You guys all like presidents? No? Well, good, because I'm going to be making fun of them a little bit. I love presidents, though, and that's what got me this job tonight, so that's pretty good. I'm also hoping, though, that it's going to give me my dream job, which I've recently applied for, which is to work at Disney World in the Hall of the Presidents. And the job I've applied for there is that of roast master. I think that'd be pretty good, right? Have someone there maybe take the presidents down a peg or two. I think that'd be a good addition to the exhibit. I think I'm the guy for the job. Why don't you, this is how I audition. Listen to my audition and tell me whether you would not hire me to work at Disney World and teach your children about the presidents. Okay? Hey, George Washington, nice teeth. John Adams, I won't make fun of you, that'd probably violate the Sedition Act. Thomas Jefferson, you have jungle fever. James Madison, at 5'4", 100 pounds, you're the size of a 12-year-old girl. James Monroe, you died penniless. John Quincy Adams, you've got to stop skinny dipping in the Potomac, man. Nobody wants to see that. Andrew Jackson, your wife is a bigamist. Martin Van Buren, you forgot to mention your wife in your autobiography. John Tyler, 15 kids. Have you ever heard of pulling out? James K. Polk, 0 kids. So that's because you're infertile. Zachary Taylor, you shit yourself to death. Millard Fillmore, the only reason you became president is because Zachary Taylor shit himself to death. Franklin Pierce, you're a drunk. James Buchanan, you're a confirmed bachelor. Abraham Lincoln, 7. How about 87, you pretentious douchebag? Andrew Johnson, you're a seamstress. Ulysses Grant, you're even more of a drunk than Pierce. Rutherford B. Hayes, you banned alcohol from the White House because your wife has a stick up her ass. James Garfield, the only thing you're remembered for is being assassinated. Chester Arthur, too bad you weren't assassinated, then we'd have something to remember you for. Grover Cleveland, your nickname is Uncle Jumbo. Benjamin Harrison, you're afraid of light switches. Grover Cleveland, just because you serve 2 non-consecutive terms doesn't mean you're getting 2 non-consecutive jokes. William McKinley, you have a dining hall named after you at Allegheny College and the food there is overpriced. Teddy Roosevelt, you're so tough and manly that a stuffed animal was named after you. William Howard Taft, you're so fat you can't tie your shoes and you got stuck in a bathtub. Woodrow Wilson, you're a racist. Warren Harding, you're a degenerate gambler. Calvin Coolidge, would you shut up for 2 seconds? You talk too much. Herbert Hoover, you're an orphan. Franklin Roosevelt, you drove your wife to lesbianism. Harry S. Truman, the S doesn't even stand for anything. Dwight Eisenhower, how about you stop golfing for 2 minutes and run the country? John F. Kennedy, how about you stop cheating on your wife for 2 minutes and run the country? Lyndon Johnson, no one wants to have a conversation with you when you're taking a shit. Stop doing that. Richard Nixon, good call getting all that shit on tape. Gerald Ford, your real first name is Leslie. Jimmy Carter, you shot your sister in the butt with a BB gun after she threw a wrench at you. Very presidential. Ronald Reagan, you got shot because somebody liked Jodie Foster. George H.W. Bush, you vomited on the Prime Minister of Japan. Bill Clinton, you're a chubby chaser. George W. Bush, you were almost assassinated by a pretzel. And Barack Obama, you're half white. Thank you. Let me just add that if everyone who liked Jodie Foster shot the president, we'd be going through presidents pretty fast, because she is terrific. I would like to apologize to you guys, because I've been doing that bit there for about 4 years, and that is the second time that I have forgotten one of the presidents. I'm mortified, and I meant to say William Henry Harrison. Oh, yeah. Kim Kardashian's marriage to Chris Humphries was more than twice as long as your presidency. I'm sorry. I love American history. I like thinking about it, pondering the quirky questions. One thing I was wondered about was John Hancock's signature on the Declaration of Independence. Why did he sign his name so big? I don't get it. The legend goes, he says he signed it that big so that King George could read it without putting his glasses on. But that's not true. He actually never said that. So I've always wondered, what is the real issue here? And I think about it, and I think John Hancock was president of the Continental Congress at the time. So he probably got to be the first one in line to go up there and sign it. So he probably went up there and signed it in what he thought was a perfectly normal size signature, given the amount of blank space at the bottom of the page. And then everybody else started going up there after him and signing his name really small, their name's really small, and he got upset. He's like, what the heck, guys? Why are you signing your name so small? You're gonna make me look like an asshole. I look like a jerk. Come on, somebody sign their name big like me. Come on, Benjamin, how about a little solidarity? TJ, please. That's what they call Thomas Jefferson. In short for TJ Jazzy Jefferson. Like celebrating the presidents and naming things after them. One thing I think they could solve some problems, like the Washington Redskins and everyone thinking they should change their name because it's offensive. I think they should change their name to the Washington Presidents, right? Nation's capital. I think they should change their name to the Washington Presidents. I think they should change their colors to red, white, and blue. And I think they should change their logo to a depiction of Andrew Jackson signing the Indian Removal Act of 1830. Problem solved. That way everybody wins. Happy Columbus Day. I don't know, president's probably a tough job. You got everybody coming at you to take a stance on all the issues. We'll see what the candidates come up here, what their stances are. I think it's tough because I usually don't agree with either side. Like for example, Indians say Kashmir belongs to India. Pakistanis say Kashmir belongs to Pakistan. I say Led Zeppelin owns the copyright on that song. I can't get elected president with a stance like that, though. Probably rather be vice president. That's probably a safer job. No one's all up in your face. No one ever even makes fun of the vice presidents that much. Except me. Except me. Hopefully I don't forget any of them. Without further ado, the rest of the vice presidents. There's more of them. John Adams, your nickname is his rotundity because you're a fucking fat ass. Thomas Jefferson, you once tried to jump over a fence to impress a girl but fell and broke your wrist. Not only did you not get the girl, now you can't even beat off to her. Aaron Burr, you were a really great vice president. If the vice president's job is to kill a man! George Clinton, are you a hack politician or the lead singer of Parliament Funkadelic? Elbridge Gerry, you famously compared an army to an erection, and Mrs. Gerry said your army won't stand at attention. Daniel Tompkins, hey drunkie, why don't you get hammered and preside over the Senate? Oh, you already do that all the time? Cool. John C. Calhoun, nice haircut. Did you stick your finger in a light socket? Guess not, light sockets kind of weren't a thing. Martin Van Buren, you wear women's corsets to hide how fat you are. Richard Johnson, your name is Dick Johnson. John Tyler, who died and put you in charge? Oh yeah, it was William Henry Harrison. George M. Dallas, Dallas, Texas was named after you, so your legacy is Tony Romo. That one was me. Millard Fillmore, Queen Victoria said you're handsome, but what does she know? She has cataracts. William Rufus King, you served as vice president under Franklin Pierce, but you spent a lot more time serving under James Buchanan. You know, they're gay. John C. Breckinridge, you love slavery even more than King and Buchanan love cock. Hannibal Hamlin, Hannibal, why don't you start a movie called The Silence of the Who Gives a Shit? Andrew Johnson, you were a drunken embarrassment at Lincoln's inauguration, dumbass. Schuyler Colfax, you went outside in negative 30-degree temperatures and died, dumbass. Henry Wilson, you leaked information to a Confederate spy you were trying to bang, dumbass. William Wheeler, you were nominated vice president after someone suggested you sarcastically. Chester Arthur, nice mutton chops. Did you lose a bet? Thomas Hendricks, is that a toupee or a dead animal on your head? Levi Morton, Chester Arthur called, he wants his mutton chops back. Adlai Stevenson, your biggest claim to fame is your grandson was a loser. Garrett Hobart, McKinley loved you so much he made you fire people so he wouldn't have to. Teddy Roosevelt, you have a pet zebra. You know, like an insane person would have. Charles Fairbanks, you might as well not even exist. James Sherman, your nickname is Sunny Jim because you're apparently really happy about being completely useless. Thomas Marshall, they should make a movie about you called Forgetting Thomas Marshall because you did nothing. Calvin Coolidge, you like to have Vaseline rubbed on your bald head every morning, you freak. Charles Dawes, you had to cast an important tie-breaking vote in the Senate, but you slept through it, dumbass. Charles Curtis, you're 3/4 Native American, so electing you vice president is the white man's way of totally making up for everything we did to your people. Happy Columbus Day, go Redskins. John Nance Garner, you like to say the vice presidency isn't worth a bucket of warm piss. Fair point, but you gotta stop carrying that bucket of piss around. Henry Wallace, you're a Stalinist. Harry Truman, you joined the KKK but claim you were never active. Yeah, and Clinton didn't inhale. Alvin Barkley, you married a woman 34 years younger than you cradle robber. Richard Nixon, you lost to John Kennedy in 1960 and only won in 68 because Robert Kennedy lost to Sirhan Sirhan. True. Lyndon Johnson, you whipped out your dick at a press conference. Also true. Hubert Humphrey, the Metrodome was named after you and it collapsed just like your presidential campaign. Spiro Agnew, you're so corrupt, Richard Nixon made you resign. Gerald Ford, you're a Cosmopolitan magazine cover girl, whose name is Leslie, as previously stated. Nelson Rockefeller, congrats on writing your family's name and fortune all the way to the most insignificant office in the land. Walter Mondale, you might have been president, but you lost 49 states, dumbass! George H.W. Bush, what does the H.W. stand for? Hates women? Is that why you married a dude? Barbara Bush is the dude, right? He's got a huge cock. Dan Quayle, if you can't spell potato, I'm going to assume you can't spell bumbling imbecile. Al Gore, you invented the internet, which is great because now we can all go on there and watch a gay porn parody of the Florida recount where W finishes on your face. Dick Cheney, the doctor who tried to operate on your heart, opened you up and discovered you don't have one. And Joe Biden, you are America's drunk uncle. You're such an idiot. You make Dan Quayle look like Albert Einstein. Seriously, you are an embarrassment to yourself, your president, and your country, and you should probably throw yourself under a moving train, you worthless Amtrak riding piece of shit! That Joe Biden joke seems so much more mean now that his son died. Vote for Joe. And that's my time. I'm James J. Hamilton. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
The ball is rolling on for Tipping and Lou and Tyler too. For Tipping and Lou and Tyler too. And with them will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, the candidates. I'm Chet Stedman, and I'm wearing a tie that looks like a fish. We're live at the Arcade Comedy Theater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the first of what we hope will be a series of debates leading up to the election in 2016. The Arcade Presidential Master Debate starts now. The four candidates for president are at their podiums. They are ready to face off, and if you've been watching this race, you know anything could happen over the next hour. Our thanks to the staff here, and especially to John Hancock for these impressive podiums he built for the use in his mock Jeopardy game that everyone enjoys and he never gets to play. This debate is not airing on any TV networks in the United States or around the world, and it is also not being broadcast on any radio networks. I know everyone is eager to get started. But first, I want to explain the ground rules for tonight. My name is Chet Stedman, and I'm wearing a tie that looks like a fish. I'll be the moderator. I'll be doing most of the questioning based on topics and issues suggested on our Facebook event page, as well as suggestions we received earlier this evening. I'll ask follow-up questions. I will attempt to guide the discussion. Candidates, I'll make sure that each of you gets your fair share of questions. You'll have 1 minute to answer and 30 seconds for follow-ups and rebuttals. I'll give you time to respond if you've been singled out for any criticism. We will also open up to questions from the audience at some point, and so you will be able to ask questions to specific candidates or the entire group. So please feel free to take copious notes during the debate. Our viewers should know that we have timing lights that are visible to the candidates to warm them when their time's... No? Okay, we don't have it. These 4 candidates are positioned on stage based on their political leanings, with those who are more conservative to your right and those that are more liberal to your left. Our goal this evening is a debate, a true debate, with candidates addressing each other in areas where they differ, where they disagree, on policy, on politics, on leadership. Now, let's begin. Pardon me. I'd like to allow each candidate 30 seconds to introduce themselves. We'll start with Senator Bitsy Vaughn.
Chet, my fellow candidates, and my fellow Americans, thank you for joining us here tonight. As you all know, I inherited my senator's seat when my dear late husband, Jefferson Vaughn IV, passed away in an untimely manner, and the good people of Alabama saw fit to re-elect me to that seat so I could carry on his proud legacy. Now, as I stand before you, a humble wife and mother, I am here to tell you that I fear for America. I fear for the path we are going down, and I promise you, as God is my witness.
I'm sorry, that's time.
God knows no time. I will help us get back on the
Senator.
right path.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Chet. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Senator. Governor Bland Whiteman.
Thank you, Chet. It's a pleasure to be here. Shucks, I'm just a governor from the great state of Texas, but I tell you what, it's a privilege to be able to run for the highest office in the land. And according to polling, I'm doing quite well as a leading centrist candidate. Now, I've got to say, there are a lot of lovely people up here with a lot of interesting ideas, but I think it's time we took this country back from its duly elected representatives and got it on the right course. A course that's going to lead to growth and prosperity, where everyone has a job, where a lot of people have 2, maybe even 3 jobs. That's the America I want. And that's the America that this America deserves. And I hope you'll stand with me as we give everybody exactly what they deserve.
Thank you, Governor. Mayor Trey Abernathy III.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chet, candidates, good evening. I am but a small town mayor from the town of Landfall, Maryland, in the Chesapeake Bay area. A small conservative town of 12,800 people and rapidly dwindling. As every season, climate change ravages our land, our population, and our economic strength. I know that not only our town, but towns across America are suffering from climate change and nuclear fission and all sorts of problems that America faces today. I would like to take this time to tell you that I will work hard on your behalf to fight for your interests and to bring economic power back to the middle class of America, who deserves it more than other classes of America.
Thank you. Mr. Kevin Gavin.
No, Kevin. It's Kevin.
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 Book. Kevin. Kevin. Kevin.
Is this a typo?
Sorry.
No, it's supposed to be
I'm
a
sorry?
B. A B. Kevin.
I'm sorry. Mr. Kevin Gavin.
Kevin. Kevin.
Gavin.
Kevin. With a B. Kevin. 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 Common.
I'm sorry, that's your time. We're going to begin with some questions for the candidates directly to them. We'll start with Mayor Abernathy. Now it seems that the science is still out on hurricanes. What do you have to say about that?
The science of detecting them or the science of the cause of them?
Just science.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty empirically proven that hurricanes exist. So
Chet,
we'll.
Chet, may I, if I may?
Senator, just one moment, please.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to allow the mayor here to answer my question.
Thank you. It's clear that these hurricanes exist and they're coming in increasing strength and numbers and frequency and economic damage. I would like to.
Has there only been like one this year?
It's true, but apocryphally, there are a shit ton of them. Can I say that? I'm sorry.
No.
Watch your
Please don't use that
language.
term again. Senator, you had something you wanted to add?
Now, I am no science fiction writer like Mr. Abernathy reading his Lord of the Rings and his Heinlein and whatnot, but this science that says climate is changing, you know what's changing? American values. You know why we've had so many hurricanes and earthquakes? Because we are just not right with the Lord. And I'm telling you, if you get right with the Lord, there will be no need for an ark.
That's not true. Dozens of my residents have had to build arcs, mainly to maintain it in the city.
Okay.
Many cubits have been spread.
Okay.
Well, if they believe the Lord is telling them to build an ark, then they should do that.
Okay. Excellent. We're going to go to Governor Whiteman. Governor, why is Bland Whiteman the best choice for America?
Bland Whiteman is here to serve the American people. This country has a long history of Bland Whiteman. Bland Whiteman had been getting it done in America for a long, long time. If you look at the economic history of my state, the great state of Texas, which incidentally has had no hurricane problem while I have been governor, and I don't know that I can take credit for that, or whether it's the fact that we're heavily armed and the hurricanes know better than to mess with us. But I think if you want to live in a prosperous country, a country where people can work a good 8 or 16 hours a day, and the wealthy people can use their money to make opportunities for other to the minimal degree that they need to make large amounts for themselves, then I'm the guy for you.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense. Senator Vaughn, now there have been some rumors spread about you involving an issue with shipping your pets on a trip that you went on. Would you like to speak to these rumors?
Now, Chet, you know, the Lord does not like when we blaspheme our neighbors. But I will address these vile rumors.
Okay.
Did I send my 3 pedigreed snickerdoodles up to our home in Martha's Vineyard in a trunk? Yes, I did. But let me tell you something.
So these are not rumors then? Just the truth.
Those dogs love their trunk. It's like their home. It's like their safe space. And they don't like riding in cars or airplanes. I just lock them in there safe and snug as a bug in a rug.
Chet, if I may.
Let's let the senator finish here, and then I'll come right to you, Mayor.
Now, as a mother, I think I know when a living creature is comfortable and well taken care of, don't you think, gentlemen? Now, none of y'all are mothers. You must admit that.
It's true.
So
Is that true? None of you are mothers?
I've been accused of being a...
Okay, all right.
I'm currently a den mother for some Weeblos.
Okay, is that the comment that you had? You had a comment earlier, was that the comment?
No. Although I'm proud of my Weeblos, their knot tying skills are unsurpassed in the Delmarva community. I like to simply say that Senator Vaughn is clearly race baiting the audience with her talk of her snickerdoodles being comfortable in the cages. Clearly, every breed on this earth has the right to ascend naturally to its most prominent capacity. Keeping dogs in cages and in trunks for cross-country trips is simply acquiescing to the idea that some races like to be kept down.
Now, I don't see race,
wow,
Chad. I don't see race.
That might be overstepping your bounds a little bit there. Senator, would you like to respond to that?
I would. I say, I do not see race. But once upon a time, many races came together to build the Tower of Babel. And how did that work out? Not well. So I'm just saying.
I don't know if that was the point of that story. You're absolutely right. I'm going to actually go over to Mr. Gavin.
Gavin. Gavin. Gavin.
That is not what is written here. No. Happy to put that down. Gavin.
Gavin.
All right. Mr. Gavin, how's it going?
Oh, not bad. I'm really excited
Excellent.
to be up here.
Let's move on. I'm going to come back over here to Governor Whiteman. Now, Governor Whiteman, Senator Vaughn here has called you, quote, the closest thing to a mistake the Lord has ever made. Now, you had a mistake of your own with the media recently. Would you like to speak to that?
Yes, I'm glad to have the opportunity to bring it up.
Sure.
Thank you, Chet.
No problem.
So very much for bringing that up.
Everyone's thinking it anyway.
So, I'm not a scientist. Let me be clear about that. I didn't even
If anyone's keeping track, there's
Well-
two people that aren't scientists.
do well in science in school, and I had compared psychology to astrology. Also, astrology, fun fact, not a science. And I had
The devil's work.
Yeah, there we are. And I had said that psychologists should be illegal, and that psychologists, and if you look at the data is very clear on this. We have had a direct correlation between the number of psychologists and the detection of mental illness. So I want you to think about that. Before we had psychologists, we had no mental illness. Draw your own conclusions, but those are the facts, people. Those are the facts. They're indisputable.
Oh, okay. That is difficult to argue with. There is no doubt. Let's go back to Mayor Abernathy here. Now, according to your people, your city has been called the, quote, most livable city in America by numerous publications that no one has heard of. Now, in doing some research, we found that these publications either do not exist or are owned by you. Would you care to comment on the assertion of most livable city?
Well, about 4 years ago, we were finally able, after 2 centuries of striving, to attain city status by surpassing the minimal number of people to get past township. And so once we achieved that, I decided to promote our status by creating several publications with the help of Mrs. Vaughn's publishing empire, I might add. That was able to really promote and attain most livable status. I mean, that's primarily for marsh-dwelling peoples and those of us who have occasional gills.
Okay, yes, Senator.
Everyone knows that the Vaughn Empire does not support reading.
That you have made that pretty clear, as a matter of
That is
fact.
a terrible thing to say, unless it is the Bible.
It is primarily a tourism publication and comprised mostly of pictures.
Okay. Let's go back to Kevin.
Kevin.
Sorry.
Kevin.
I'm sorry. I knew I was going to get it wrong.
Just say whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fun.
Kevin. So you have a massive fortune that has come primarily related to spelunking. Can you tell us, where did that come from exactly? How did you even come up with that?
Absolutely. So when I was in college, I really wanted to be an astronaut, and I went through all the testing, and I failed miserably on every level. So I said, hey, I've got a lot of money. Let's build a lot of boats, and instead of going up, let's just go down. So we kept going down deeper and deeper and deeper, and I'm proud to say we've explored about 67% of the world's oceans, which last year the numbers were at 66. It's a shitload of water.
Wow, that is a lot
I was
of
told we
water.
couldn't use that word.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin, may I ask you a question, Kevin?
Yeah.
I believe it's Kevin.
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 I don't believe I've ever heard Kevin as a biblical name.
Well, Kevin is in the Bible.
It is, if you read closely, it's there.
Good Christian name, Kevin. Now, Kevin, are you ever wondering or worried about in all your water explanation that you might wake the Leviathan?
No, that is not scientifically
The
possible.
seven-headed beast that is predicted to devour the world?
That's not a thing. Also, so we don't have to worry about that or dinosaurs.
Maybe
as
if your
many
parents
people.
had done a little more Bible reading, you'd be more adept at life.
I'm sure.
Well,
I'm
we
sure-
have discovered many ecosystems down there. Spanish galleons and untold troves of literature and knowledge. It's a beautiful world down there. In fact, I'm building an Atlantis as we speak.
Well, now I just think he's trying to confuse everyone with his fancy language.
Wow.
How hard is it to move into that community?
Oh, it's going to be open.
We can discuss that later. Governor, you had something that you...
Well, I was just going to say, if Mr. Gibbon does find the Leviathan, I'm sure that Senator Vaughn will be able to put it in a trunk and won't be a problem.
Senator Vaughn, now you inherited your seat from your husband when he passed away 3 years ago.
I did, God rest his soul.
And then you won your first and only election by the narrowest margin in the history of your state. So can you tell me, why does God let bad things happen to good people?
Well, Chet, that is a difficult question, isn't it? And, you know, we all wonder what the Almighty's plan is, but I will say that sometimes bad things happen to good people because bad people do bad things. And sometimes the Lord feels the need to punish seemingly unrelated people, perhaps in other states or even countries, because of something that's happening in the legal system of New England. Or other
I
liberal states.
I just like to point out statistics, you know, numbers, balances out. So there's bad things that happen to bad people and good things that happen to good people and good things that happen to bad people and good things that happen to good people.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, Kevin.
Kevin!
Okay.
Kevin!
Okay.
Is it?
This is a question for each of you, and we're gonna go into some. There have been some questions emailed in, so we're gonna go to some of those. The first one is for each of you, and we'll start with the governor here. Why is America the greatest country in the world?
America is the greatest country in the world because of a little thing that happened back in 1776. It's called the Declaration of Independence. And then another thing that happened after the Articles of Confederation in 1787 called the Constitution. Read it. I read it every day. I wake up, I read the Constitution while I'm eating my Cheerios. And I tell you what, it is a beautiful document. It is a great way to found a nation. If you want to build a tall building, you build a firm foundation. And the Constitution is what makes America the best country, not only on earth, but in the universe.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, same question.
Well, I agree on a superficial level with the governor here. America
That's
is
the only level I have, so thank you.
We are the greatest country on earth, but it's not by default. It's not by design. It's thanks to our special black ops forces. The many forces of the military-industrial complex that shape the world around us in ways that we cannot even perceive. The banksters, the power players, the behind-the-scenes people that really run the world, that run the government, that run the economy, those are the people that keep everything moving. And to them I'd like to say, I'm ready, sirs.
Wow. Senator, why is America the greatest country in the world?
America is the greatest country in the world because it was undeniably and inarguably founded as a Christian nation. Our founding fathers were very clear that this was, by definition, a land of Christ. And they made sure that our Constitution protected our rights to hold guns, to protect that Christian value.
Okay, Governor, you said you read the Constitution every morning. Does it say anything in there about Christ?
It was so obvious they didn't need to put it in.
Okay.
I too agree that this country was founded on 1950s Christian values.
I have the ability to bring people of very differing opinions together across the aisle.
Yeah.
It's very Christ-like of you.
Thank
I feel
you.
like we're going a little off the rails here, so I think we'll just go to Kevin. Kevin, why is America the greatest country in the world?
I don't think we are.
Pardon me?
Yeah, stuff is so messed up. Like, nothing is good right now. People don't get to have jobs, recessions, and
Now,
Chad,
I
money.
take
We gotta-
objection.
we
I
gotta
take
give
objection.
Okay, all right.
Say.
Let's let him finish. And so, who is the greatest country in the world?
Well, hopefully the Atlantis. That I was underneath the ocean. And if you vote for me, you will have a seat on that submarine. That's a guarantee.
That's I hear you. Now, Governor, you had a
I
response.
take strong objection to what Mr. Gavin is saying. Now, Mr. Gavin,
Are you pointing at me or through me?
I threw you here. You don't even need to move because you're so inconsequential, it's like you're not even there. The point being, Mr. Gavin, America is the country that gave you the ability to make your billions of dollars doing spelunking, which I have recently learned is a sea-based activity. So my point is, if you don't think that America is the greatest country, then maybe you should be running for president of Atlantis and not president of these United States of America. Thank you.
Chet,
Okay, yes, Madam Senator.
I know it's a little bit unorthodox, but I would like permission to go lay hands on Kevin and baptize him.
No, I'm sorry. I'm afraid we don't have time for that. You can just.
I'm very worried.
No,
Can you
if
just-
I-
So,
please don't. Oh, that is
All the
inappropriate.
sailing content.
There's no chance that Kirkland water can be used for baptism.
I know, Chet, their labor Costco's labor practices are very low priced, and
That's fair.
If I could just rebut real quick, President of Atlantis, I'm already king and emperor of Atlantis.
Okay.
So.
Don't even believe in democracy down there, so what more?
Kevin, I'm starting to wonder if your name actually is Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not sure at this point because you seem to be insane.
well, I mean, I have heard that Atlanteans can't pronounce V.
That is a racist stereotype.
Okay.
my God, it's our shibboleth.
Now we have some. We do have some other questions here that again have been emailed in. We're gonna take these now. So let's start with in 2012, an estimated 56 million people died worldwide. How would we address this dangerous trend? Let's start with Senator.
Chet, I think those numbers are very scary and very sad, but I think we all need to realize that the rapture is coming. And so trying to prevent any further deaths is really a waste of our resources. What we should be doing is getting right with God so that we can be taken body and soul directly into heaven, leaving our clothes and belongings behind.
Wow, okay. Gavin, how would you address this 56 million people died in 2012?
That is an alarming trend. I intend to reverse that trend. I've got new anti-aging medication, which is about to hit the market. Be available only for Atlanteans.
Okay.
But as soon as you vote for me, we'll get that president job underwater, sink America, and then we can all live forever.
Sure.
You are 186 of the way, sir.
Well, thank you.
I'm gonna start calling you Methuselah. My
Methuselah?
little nickname for you is gonna be Methuselah now.
Oh, thank you.
That's a proper biblical name.
Yes.
Oh.
Governor, how would you address this problem?
Well, let's take a look at these 56 million people who died allegedly last year. Now, I'm not an
This
actuary.
was in 2012.
I'm not an actuary. What? All right. So nobody has died since. So what's the
No. Touche. Mr. Mayor?
Well, I'd like to ask, first of all, how many of these 56 million people died of natural causes, and how many people have died through circumstances that have been brought about by the deterioration of our ozone layer, or perhaps...
This is just total, 56 million people.
Total.
Yeah, total people died.
Oh, how many people have been born since then?
I don't have those numbers.
Probably net positive.
It might be, we're not concerned about the people being born.
I'm very concerned.
Okay, all right.
I know that Governor Whiteman is very concerned about all the Caucasian deaths
Sure.
in that number.
Sure.
But I'm concerned about all of them.
I take offense at that. I do not care only about Caucasian people. I care only about the wealthy. All right? I'm going to make that very clear. How many of those 56 million were poor? They're probably glad to be dead rather than poor. Thank you.
Right here in the circle, there's your Venn diagram of what he just said. It's just one circle.
Right. All right, very good. Let's see. Let's look at a couple of the other questions that we have here. Star Trek has been off television for over 10 years now. The longest amount of time since the hiatus between the animated series and the Next Generation. If elected, what do you plan to do about this? I'm not going to actually have you answer that question.
Oh, I actually have
It's not a question of substance.
I have a 500-page plan already written out how to do this. There's a whale in space. I don't know if you know about that. We're gonna have to find it. There's a god ship. We're gonna bring back Leonard Nimoy.
Okay. We have what
Kevin, I
color?
can show you the way to the god ship.
We have what color is the dress? How can we lose weight fast? What does the fox say? These aren't really. What really happened to Steve?
You know, the fox
I do know the answer to
was
that.
speaking in the Garden of Eden before Eve tempted Adam out, you know.
And the fox says Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi.
Okay. I don't know what to say about that. We're going to go into a section now where essentially we're going to give you an either-or situation, and you essentially just tell us which one you would pick. We'll go just rapid fire down the row here. So all you have to do is just give an answer of one or the other. Okay? So we'll start with the senator. Cat or dog?
A dog.
3 of them in a box, right?
Governor.
They all go to heaven.
Governor, coffee or tea?
Go with coffee.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffle.
He's waffling right now. He's waffling right now. Belgians influence European socialism.
Links or patties?
When I golf, I always choose the links.
Okay, not the question. Back down here, pirates or ninjas?
I don't understand the question. None of
Okay.
those are in the Bible.
Next, Oreos or Hydrox?
I mean, whatever the help brings. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Can I take the opportunity to address this?
I guess so.
Lingering all evening. Now, like Mr. Gavin over there, I've done very well in the American economy, and I'm not going to apologize for my success. So, I tell you what, the people who work for us, whose names are eluding me at the moment, they're deliriously happy to have those jobs. Every day they thank me in that crazy language that they speak. I think they're thanking me. The point being is they are delighted to be able to be employed by somebody as wealthy and successful as I am. You are welcome.
I just want to say now, I will learn the name of every person on those boats. You are all going to be my friends, and we're going to have parties every night.
With Oreos or Hydrox?
Wait, what?
No. Let's go next, Mr. Mayor, Garfield or Heathcliff?
Garfield.
Okay.
Clearly. Heathcliff has no friends.
Kevin, volcano?
Kevin. Still Kevin.
I'm pretty sure that's what I said, but
I must have heard you say Kevin.
volcano or Dante's Peak?
Oh, I like that scene when the grandma's pushing the boat and she's melting slowly.
Sure.
So whatever one that one is.
Okay. Senator Brittany or Christina?
Oh, they're both harlots.
Okay. Governor, DC or Marvel?
Well, D.C. is where I hope to live, so I'm going to go with D.C.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, Lord of the Rings or no Lord of the Rings?
There is no Lord of the Rings. I'm going to come out and say it now. I do not believe in a Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
That's the title of a book.
Yeah, I thought it. Hot dog or hamburger, Kevin?
I like to make my hamburgers in the shape of a hot dog.
What you going to get, America?
All right.
Saves on buttons.
July 4th is going to be confusing as hell.
Leviticus 4:17, thou shalt not have meat ground from a bovine animal in the shape of a porcine animal. It is forbidden.
Look it up.
I can't imagine that that's in the Bible. McDonald's or Burger King?
They're both harlots.
Okay. Mr. Governor, Coke or Pepsi?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Pepsi. Coke's.
Oh, the right-wing Pepsi, yeah, the right-leaning Pepsi. Coca-Cola is too much of the third
Oh,
world.
Coca-Cola. Oh yeah, Coca-Cola. I'm sorry. Yeah, Coca-Cola. Yeah, sorry. It took me back to college.
That's a shame. Mr. Mayor, at first, Alvarez or Ramirez? At first, Alvarez or Ramirez?
Who's on first?
Oh,
What?
Okay, very good. And Kevin, Florida, stay or go?
I think we're just gonna have to blow it off the
Okay,
ocean.
all right, that sounds good.
really, it's closest to Atlanta.
Very good. So we're going to take an opportunity now to open up for questions from our audience here, our live audience. So if there is anyone who has a question either for a specific candidate or for every candidate, you can just raise your hand and I'll get that question from you. Oh, we do have a question back here.
What is spelunking?
Oh, very good. I'm assuming this is for Kevin.
Thank you.
What is spelunking?
Well, it's going into caves underwater. So we I've built mostly robots because a lot of people died doing that. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson and Smith.
He
and
learned all their
Roberts
names. Look at
and,
that. He did learn all their names.
The
Affinity
people he's killed.
and
That's
May-
it. How many of the 56 million were his employees? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
A couple thousand.
I don't
but
have those numbers.
anyways, the robots now, the soulless, mindless robots, those are not human brains that are in the robots. Those are
Sounds like an
purely...
inauguration address over here.
And so the robots go into the caves and they explore and they pull out the gold and whatever may be living inside those caves, and then we collect them.
Chat, I dropped my pen. Permission to...
My God,
Mr.
you
Mayor,
can't
please,
even
you
hold
can
on
pick it
to
up.
a
You're
pen.
an adult. We're all
Maybe you'll
adults.
invent a government program to give your pen back to you.
I have 7 of them.
There we are.
Another question for a specific candidate or any of the candidates? Oh, yeah, yes.
I noticed none of you are wearing American flag lapel pins.
Oh! Is that a question or?
How dare you?
Oh, how dare you. So this is for each of you. How dare you not wear a flag lapel pin? We'll start down here with the...
Well, bless your heart, ma'am. You may not realize that my husband was actually killed in a tragic American flag lapel pin accident. And I honor his memory by no longer wearing the pin that took his life so prematurely. But I do hold the American flag in my heart. Thank you for your question.
Okay, Governor?
I am literally wearing an American flag pin on my heart. I had it surgically installed. They were in there doing some work, and I said, put a flag pin on there. There's also a copy of the Constitution.
Okay, Mr. Mayor?
I did have an American flag lapel pin on my way into the center here. However, I encountered a hungry homeless man out front, and I gave him the pin on my way in.
I can't imagine that would have been very helpful. Mr. Gavin?
I believe the flag is an outdated, bizarre, and meaningless object. We'll have a contest online where everybody can vote for their favorite flag, and then we'll do that probably
Bless
quarterly.
your heart.
Okay, oh, just stop.
Pretty much.
It's electronics and everything. Hey, any other questions for the candidates? Somebody has a spring.
That was mine. No, that was my pacemaker.
Oh.
Does that every hour just to remind me that I'm still alive.
No, Governor, if I just may interject, who made that pacemaker?
It was in fact your conglomerate.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome.
Again, I please don't misunderstand. I have nothing against Kevin Gevin. I think he is a great example of what the free enterprise system in America can produce, and I want to keep him out in the private sector and away from the Oval Office because he's doing a great job out there. If he got in the Oval Office, we'd be underwater in 5 seconds flat.
Literally, exactly. I knew I had your support.
Governor, what sorts of technology has your state supported in these recent years?
We have an astonishing number of gun patents that are filed for my state every year. We have also a heck of a booming oil industry, and I'm sure we have other industries as well.
I did just see online that your state invented a gun that shoots oil.
Yep, and a gun that can shoot other guns.
Really? I thought that was the Acme Corporation.
They have an active. We have a lot of roadrunners in West Texas that we're trying to get rid of.
See?
Understandable.
Very good. So, do we have any other additional questions from the crowd? Oh, yes, sure.
Is for White Blandman.
Bland White.
It's Bland Whiteman. It's Governor.
That's all right.
Governor Whiteman.
Now you know how it feels.
Confusing name on the dais,
That's
so
okay.
go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Anyway,
It's an
I was
acronym in and of
curious,
itself.
if you were elected president, what in your first 100 days, what kind of programs would you push towards trying to get done in this country? Like, what would you do as a president?
That's an excellent question. I'm glad someone
It's a
has
hypothetical question.
finally taken the time to ask me what I would do as president. On the campaign trail, I've had so little opportunity to talk about it. Let me tell you this. I am a man who believes in the power of free markets. So on my first day in office, I would issue a bill to Congress to pass, and if they didn't pass it, oh, there would be hell to pay, that basically taxes the poor at 95%. Because I believe that if you want to get rid of something, you tax it. And I want to get rid of poverty. And if we tax the poor, then there will be tremendous incentives to not be poor any further. People will work their way up the economic ladder, and everyone will be billionaires. Thank you very much. I look forward to
Bland, I'm so sad to hear you getting so centrist in your old age, pandering to the liberals.
right now.
You used to be a good conservative.
Isn't that the policy that Sheldon Adelson put forth in
Now. Just because some of my incredibly wealthy donors happen to agree with some of my positions does not mean that my positions were dictated to me in an email along with the check that they sent. I want to make that very clear that I know my thoughts have matured on this issue, but they are absolutely not a result of the direct instructions that I was receiving from my billionaire donors.
Okay, I think I saw another question over. Oh, this, yes.
A foreign policy question. Since Canada has Muslims in it, when do we invade the country and take it over?
Tread lightly, candidates. Let's start down here with Mr. Gavin.
Absolutely. I definitely see that as a solution to a problem that exists. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of contain all of North America. We're going to let that whole mother just sink right down. Just eliminating all crime, all poverty, all disease, and all poor welfare. Where we can all...
Just everything.
Everything.
All right,
All of it.
fantastic. Mr. Mayor?
It's actually quite simple. When the time comes to invade Canada and its heavily Muslim population, we will, since they pray to the east, we simply approach from the south. I'm affected. Tremendous loss of life. There's going to be a tremendous loss of life.
That's fine. Governor White.
Chad, I'm so glad the distinguished gentleman asked a question about foreign policy, and I just want to take this opportunity to say how much I love the state of Israel. I really do. The state of Israel couldn't be a better ally. If America and Israel went on like a holiday weekend together into a cabin in Wisconsin, we would just hold hands and spoon, and we would have like a single milkshake with 2 straws. Israel,
After getting married in the eyes of the Lord, of course.
yeah, oh yeah, but Israel is just a great ally of the United States of America, and I don't want anyone at all to question my total and unquestioning devotion to the state of Israel.
That seems to be a little bit off topic.
I think it's right on top.
Okay. I guess he did say the words foreign policy.
He did.
So, Senator, any comments on this?
Now, where is Canada?
What I'm gonna do is,
Can't you see it out your back window? Can't.
I'm gonna save you from yourself and go to another question. Someone over here, yeah.
Very patient gentleman.
He actually asked my question about foreign policy.
Well, there we go. There we
Okay.
go.
So you don't have another question?
Israel. Just
There's more than one country, though.
That is true.
There's only one country in my heart.
Okay.
There's one country and a flag pin and a constitution in my heart.
Candidates, the gentleman here does have.
Sorry.
It's a question for y'all, and I'm a struggling organic bee farmer.
Beet or beef?
Bee.
Oh,
Yeah,
bee.
Bees, gay bees.
You run an apiary.
Gay bees.
I raise gay bees. They
It's
won't,
very uncomfortable for the queen.
I think I know why you're struggling then.
they won't make honey unless they can be married. Can you help?
I can answer that clearly. As I also prepared another 500-page paper on how I will allow all gay bees to marry, and they will be granted the rights of every single insect on the face of the earth.
Well,
Okay.
what's next, Chet?
What's next?
What's next?
I'm not sure.
We let these gay bees marry,
Right.
and then they're gonna want to marry humans, and then ants are gonna want to marry rocks. What is gonna happen to the foundation of this country?
I wouldn't
You
think.
gotta get your hives right, sir.
Okay. Do either of you have a comment on this?
I mean, I think it's self-evident that if your bees are gay, then they are not going to make honey.
I'd like
No,
to
I'm
argue.
not a botanist, but I think I know.
Right.
To make honey, you gotta have a man bee and a woman bee. And
Bland, I think we all know you know plenty about making honey outside of wedlock.
Oh, okay.
okay, now I have a checkered past, but who doesn't love checkers?
Mr. Mayor, do you have any comments on
I
this?
don't think a bee's sexual predilection has any bearing whatsoever on the colony collapse disorder that hive is perhaps currently facing. I mean, that is an environmental disaster that's brought about by the likes of pesticides and climate change and electrical signals that are being sent through the air all willy-nilly for the first 100 years in history.
I'm sorry, this man is talking about bee porn, and there are ladies present.
What?
I've watched bee porn. This is nothing like bee porn.
That's not that surprising. We're going to, we're actually going to move in now to the closing statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds to give a closing statement, essentially wrap up and make whatever final statements that they'd like to make here in the debate. So we'll.
Oh, Kevin! Did you go to Stanford High School?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew you from someplace. Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You forgot someone named Kevin?
That was the years of the cure.
We're gonna start. We're gonna start from the opposite end that we started with at the beginning here. Mr. Gevin, go right ahead.
Gevin. So if you go on Instagram, it's at Kevin Gevin. If you go on Twitter, at Kevin_Gevin. If you go on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Kevin_Gevin, $#. It's a really common name, so there's a lot of Kevin Gevins on Facebook. LinkedIn, you can add me as a friend. I'll make sure you guys get a ticket. It'll all be hunky-dory. We'll get on that boat. We'll have a good time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Gevin.
Gevin.
Sure. Mr. Mayor?
Look, folks, I was elected mayor of a small and dwindling town, and I have successfully staved off a greater population loss than would naturally occur otherwise. I think that I am fit for the highest office in this country because we're mad as hell, and we're only going to take it for a little bit longer. And that little bit longer is going to happen during my administration, where Congress is going to learn that it's my way or the highway, and we're going to protect the speech of freedom.
Excellent, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Also, white Jesus.
Governor.
You just need to say Jesus. Everybody knows he's white.
I don't know.
Governor Whitman.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Chet. It's been a pleasure to speak with all of you. We have a big choice to make in this country. Down one road lies a water-soaked socialist gay bee hellscape, like they have in Scandinavian countries. And down one path is a shining, prosperous, gated community around which many, many people work an awful lot to make those people in that gated community look really good. And I think we know which path to take. Thank you very much, and I count on your vote.
Got mine.
Thank you, sir. That is an American hero.
Thank you.
He's the guy I would have picked.
Governor. Senator.
You can use your words and your science, but all I can say is, amazing grace, how sweet
That's the same song Obama sang, I'll just have you know.
And he stole it from our people. Don't you want to get it back? I mean, Christian.
Okay. Thank God you clarified that. I'm going to assume that you're done.
Atlanteans have a spiritual.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a chance to let us know who won this debate if you go onto Twitter and tweet at Arcade Comedy with the name of the candidate who you believe won this debate, be it Kevin Levin,
Kevin!
Mayor Abernathy, Governor Whiteman, or Senator Vaughn down there. Now, as we mentioned, we hope that this is the first of many such debates, and your votes may influence who is at the podium during the next show. So, we'd like to thank you all. Good night, and of course, God bless America.